everyone, and welcome back to the program. I'm sitting here today with Judy. Judy, thank you so much for being part of the program.
Thank you, Miguel. It's so good to be here.
Yes, ma'am. For those who are not familiar with the work you're doing, let them know about yourself.
Right. So my drive and everything that I eat, drink, and sleep about life is connecting myself and others to their infinite being, to being the fullest expression of their soul in all things, in all ways.
How would you define the word greatness?
All right, that's a really good question. It's the fullest expression. The greatness is that when we are living from our infinite being, we are everything. We are all-knowing. We are certain, confident. We are empowered. We are limitless. That's greatness. Anytime that we have any fleeting thought or we dwell in any feeling or thought or emotion that is not that, it is not our infinite being. That is not greatness.
How do we combat imposter syndrome with this idea of wanting to achieve greatness, wanting to be well aligned? How do we defeat imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome is what I call interference. It's energetic interference. It's not ours. It doesn't belong to us. And we have the free will. When we have the awareness, we have the free will to banish it, to not buy into it, to not entertain it, to not give it energy, and to certainly not give it power. Because when we understand that if we're feeling imposter syndrome, when we understand that is not what the infinite being would ever let us feel, ever want us to feel, then you know, hold on a second, it's not really mine, it's not mine, it's not me. I'm not going to give it energy. We have once we have awareness, we have free will.
Awareness brings free will. And you're saying awareness to one's potential, one's ability, or just awareness to that spiritual side of one's individual?
It's awareness that your infinite being is everything. It's like I have three sort of foundational principles. One is that we are one with everything. We are of this world. We are of this planet. We are one with everything, the universe. You could get deeply spiritual or just deeply cosmological about it. Okay, if that's a word, it doesn't really matter. But we are one with everything, and as such, number two, we have all knowing. We have access to all the information that ever was, or is, or ever will be, in infinite intelligence, wisdom, knowing it all. And three, every time we experience an obstacle, every time we experience anything that is not pure, great, certainty, confidence, empowerment, it is feedback from the universe or our higher self or infinite being to take the journey back home to ourselves. But instead, the humanity has been conditioned to run further away by looking at more strategies, work harder, try more, be more, do more, look outside of themselves. It's the wrong way. It's like going down a one-way highway the wrong way. It's counterintuitive, but the way to overcome all of that is back home to oneself. Okay, so I know my infinite being is all-knowing. It has all wisdom. It is only wants me to feel secure, not just secure. It wants me to feel empowered and certain and confident. What am I missing? It's about coming back home to oneself and disowning all of the energies, all the interference and the energetic interference that we may be experiencing in this illusion of this 3D world that we live in.
For the individual that's listening, Judy, and is saying, you know what, Judy, it's resonating with me. I get what you're saying, but maybe my household, my family, my relatives, my significant other, maybe just the environment that I'm in is not one that's conducive for me to be that aligned. What strategies are there for that person to be able to do so?
Okay, so here's an interesting thing that everybody can try. One is that when we experience joy and happiness, it feels good. It feels like us. And when you experience like really like excitement and happiness, you experience it, it sort of dissipates, and then you're back into sort of like normal feeling. When you're experiencing fear or anxiety, you experience it, you don't come back naturally to this normal feeling. What happens is it amplifies, right? So people who are listening, try that out. And it amplifies because it's not who you truly are. It is influence, it is interference, energetic interference that is keeping you trapped. And it's because of the way in which we live in this society and the illusions that we live within and the conditioning we have created, energetic interference that keeps us trapped and blind to the illusions of what the truth is. So just do that exercise. Next time you're feeling real excitement and happiness, notice yourself and notice that you come back to a sort of a stable place and it feels real, it feels you. But next time you're feeling fear and anxiety, it doesn't come back to this normal sense of being, of comfort and calm. It amplifies. And the moment it amplifies, that is interference. It's not you. And once you have that awareness, we have free will, and we have the choice in that moment to either buy into that and give that more energy, or to say, you know what, I choose to be the master of my destiny rather than victim of my history. I choose to live in complete and alignment with my true authentic self, which is our infinite being.
It's very powerful. Yeah, it's very powerful because of the thing of, you say, okay, one can be all-knowing, and so many times we ask ourselves questions, or we do this work where we kind of look within, and it's like we know the answer most often. We just simply don't want to accept that answer.
Yeah.
And with the illustration that you're presenting, I think at least what came to my mind, it's like if you're laughing, eventually the laugh will wear off and you kind of go back to normal, so to speak. But then in the other hand, if you're crying, you actually have to kind of get yourself out of that crying or whining mode. Otherwise, that can just ruin your whole day.
Yeah. So here's an interesting thing on that point, Miguel, is that you can be sad and still be your authentic self, still be in alignment with your infinite being. You can experience sadness. Sadness is part of our evolutionary growth, but that's a very different energy to anxiety, to imposter syndrome, to fear, all of that, to shame, to guilt, to uncertainty. Uncertainty is the biggest enemy to the infinite being. And these negative energies that we have cultivated in this society that we live in prey on people being uncertain. And when you are aware that that's how you're feeling, again, we have free will. We can choose to give that energy, or we can choose to give to lean back into our infinite being.
Yeah, I very much agree with the term of free will, because I think oftentimes people think, well, things are predestined. It's just going to be, and there's nothing I can do about it. But of course, the idea of free will is that you have the ability to elect. And as you're saying, once the individual becomes aware of their current state, then they can make a proper choice of, do I want to live this way, or how do I want to live? Yeah.
And another way, one of the things that I say is either you choose to be the hurricane in your life, or a leaf in the wind of life. We have a choice. And really and truly, all we do is, when we are a leaf in the wind of life, we are subject to the agendas of everything and everyone outside of us and around us. That doesn't lead to an empowered life. That doesn't lead to a life of prosperity. That leads to a life of frustration. So I personally choose being the hurricane in my life.
Right. When the new year starts, we see so many people that are filled with so much optimism of what the year is going to be in. And we have individuals who either set up a New Year's resolution, these goals that they want to accomplish throughout the year. And then there's another individual that may set up a one word, and this one word anchors everything that they do in that year. On this
Yes.
spectrum, where do you lie? Are you more of a one word person, or are you more of, resolutions and goals?
Oh, I'm a word person. So every year it means something different for me. Like this year for me is mystical miracles. That's my year. That's my intention. And where you put your focus is where you put your energy, and where you put your energy is what you create. And I have been creating mystical miracles. The problem with goals is the illusion, again, based on the conditioning of society, is every time because goals are binary. Either you achieve a goal or you don't. And what we typically do, because we are so interfered with energetically, what we typically do, if we don't achieve a goal, we feel a failure. Instead of saying, okay, I didn't achieve it, but what did I achieve? So I rather set a context for my year. That's what I do.
Awesome. If there was one word that you can have to be the one word that encompasses all your life's work, what would that one word be?
Infinite, limitless, infinite. Sorry, that was two. Infinite. Infinite would be the one word.
Awesome. Judy, for those who are connected with us and want to get connected with you, how could they do so?
I have a fantastic Facebook group called Attuned to Wealth. Come and join me there. We do some fun stuff all about connecting with our infinite being.
Awesome, Judy. Thank you so much for being part of the program.
Thank you so much, Miguel.
Yes, ma'am.